My fellow citizens, I want to talk to you about our economy. It is important that you understand the reasons for the policy measures I've taken to combat the serious economic challenges this nation had long faced. I'm not going to talk in difficult terms by dwelling on economic jargon and concepts. I will speak in plain, clear language so that you know where I stand. More importantly, so that you see and hopefully will share my vision regarding the journey to a better, more productive economy for our beloved country. For several years, I have consistently maintained the position that the fuel subsidy had to go. This once beneficial measure had outlived its usefulness. The subsidy cost us trillions of naira yearly, such as a vast sum of money would have been better spent on public transportation, health care, school, housing.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us, our wonderful viewers out there. This is your midday newspaper review, and I am your wonderful host, Modu Dominic, as usual. And that was a fantastic speech from our president. Now, considering the fact that it is not the regular Independence Day, and then we have him come out to give us that amazing speech. In fact, kudos to him. Thank you for having time for us. So, what do you guys have to say about that? First, introduce yourselves.
My name is Napolo. Good afternoon, people watching out there. God bless you. Well, for me, I think it's a wonderful speech from the president. It's any thinking, functioning leader will do what he has done.
Come out and address his people.
People are crying. You don't beat a crying child.
All right,
you have to pamper and caress and make sure that
All
and
right,
that is what the president has done.
Thank you so much. So, Engineer Ola, please introduce yourself and just a brief word for our viewers.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon too.
Well, I'm very happy on the development because I could remember that when Babangida was the president of Nigeria, though he was a military man, he was a military man, he did the same thing. Anytime we have crisis in the country, Babangida will come out and address us and give us palliative.
All right, thank you so much. So we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at what we have on the newspaper review today. So stay tuned. We'll be right back shortly. Thanks for staying tuned. It's still your newspaper review on your favorite TV station, Cactv. So quickly, let's take our quote for the day.
The quote for the day is by Apostle Joshua Selman. It goes thus: you don't sit down and dream breakthrough. You prepare for them because they will surely come. In other words, I will support this with one of the author's quote that says 5 P's. It says proper preparation prevents poor performance. In other words, when you prepare, you do better. When you prepare for success, you succeed. Whatever you fail to prepare for will not come out well. So we are just charging you that whatever you will be doing today or afterwards, do it well, and that's how to succeed.
Yes, I grab that. When you prepare for success, you succeed. So I hope you also take take note of that. It's very important. And I really want to say Happy New Month. Yes, it's a new month. We need to be excited about it. Okay, quickly, let's look at what we have for today. Our first newspaper review is going to be coming from the Punch newspaper. So we'll have our first story saying that Senate screens 14 tackle ministerial nominees over age and task. So the story says that the Senate on Monday commenced the screening of 28 nominees forwarded to it by Presidential Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 14 out of the 28 ministerial nominees were screened by the Senate at all session, presides over by the Senate President Godwill Okpabio. So that's the first story that we have. So, Engineer Ola, what do you have to say? Let's quickly take a look at that.
I don't have much to say, but I believe that not all of them passed the screening. I believe very much that those of them who did not pass the screening, some were confronted with allegation of forgery, falsification of age.
Exactly.
Well, I don't think at this age that should be again. If you know you are not qualified to become a Nigerian senator, why did you apply? You don't have to apply because you know, oh, I did not pass my WAEC.
I'm sure they didn't see the screening part of it
I
coming.
not pass my WAEC, so I don't have to go to the Senate because I know I don't have my WAEC. And then you see, and again, what do you want to falsify your age? If you are not up to that age level, why did you apply to become a senator in Nigeria?
Minister.
Minister in Nigeria. We thank God that the Senate is now changing form and changing gear. I believe that their vehicle will reach the desired destination.
All right. So, what do you have to say?
Well, I have nothing to add per se. Well, because it's more of like a tradition for us to have screening of make a bow and then have the appointment, which is what will happen. These people are not getting this appointment on the ground of what they can offer. This is politics. You have, take for instance, the man from River State, Yesom Wiki. He's not an APC member. Maybe if he just become a ward, well, he have openly said he worked for the president to become
time,
the president. But be that as it may, that is not enough to entrust somebody with a part of the running of the country in the name of he worked for me to become. So if my grandmother worked for the president, who is an illiterate, are you saying she automatically offer, become of her is a minister of the Federal Republic of the country? We must, you see, we must have a way of paying good, not with the continuity and the progress of a country. It's very risky.
All right, thank you so much. So let's take a look at the second story that we have, and this says federal government replies Falana
mentioned. So I pray he's able to do all of that. But if the activist says it's not illegal for protesters to hold their protest, that's it. He said it's not in our constitution not to protest, to say protest is illegal. So if there is a provision of the law that empowers citizens to protest in one way or the other, well, the president has made a stand. The activist has also spoken to the matter, and well, the people have heard the president, and I doubt if there will still be any form of a protest.
All right, so let's look at another story still on the Punch newspaper, and this says NAS, ASU disagree as federal government halt fee hike. President Bola Tinubu on Monday directs the authorities in all federal institutes of higher learning to avoid arbitrary increase in sundry fees payable, and where possible defer further increase so that parents and students don't face too much difficulties. So this was a statement made still on the speech that our president gave yesterday, saying that, you know, we need to put a stop to this wherever this is coming from, so that parents and students could also afford to pay school fees themselves. Because already we have, there is so much going on as regards this. We have students who are literally working to put themselves in schools. So if at this point we have increment, how then do they survive? How then do they cope? We even have parents who are currently struggling to pay the little that they are currently paying as fee for now. So if this takes effect, and you know, I also read in a story where some of the schools were like, no, president, you can't say that, we don't want that, we want that to actually stand. So what's your take on this?
Well, you know, we it's not as if we import the people at the helm of affairs of education. They are not objects, they are human beings like us, and I know they understand the economy, how choky things are for people. So to now come up now and say it's time to increase the price of school fees and all, it's not fair. It's wickedness by excellence. When this is deliberate, you know, take for instance from 30k to 120k.
It's alarming.
How do you compare that? Who does that? So we are our own enemies. That's where I'm going. But my sermon, you know, or appeal to whoever is listening is, please, we beg you, let the poor breathe. Let the people, let's not deny people of the little education.
Don't make it sound like what our senators were doing, you know, laughing about something that is really hurting us.
I'm telling you that they should, please, we want to breathe, oh. You are putting
too much,
in our noses,
yes.
and that way we can't breathe. With that billing, it is crazy to have a parent who is already struggling with how to bring food, now to pay triple for our school fees. No, now.
Considering the state of things in our country. Engineer.
No, you see, if we are going to talk on this, there are two groups. One group are the students. The second group are the staff of the university. Okay. The students are saying, okay, we are okay with this policy. Government will give us buses. That will solve our problem. And the tuition fee will become free. That will solve our problem. Some of us are working, but because we decided to have education, we will be schooling and at the same time working, straining ourselves. And we cannot afford this increment in education fee in Nigeria. So they subscribe to this school of thought. The staff are saying, no, this remuneration is too small. You have to increase our remuneration. So what the government is now putting on board is that is supporting the student mostly. As parents, and I'm only appealing to this, the staff union, the lecturers and all the rest, that please, let's see what the president has to do so that Nigerian educational system, you know, can be improved. If you look at Nigerian educational system, I want to give an example. I know somebody who went to Germany after graduating from a university in Oyo State. When he got to Germany, they told him, look, you have missed about 6 courses. You have to resit these 6 courses in Nigerian grade for that matter. what I believe they should work on now, work on our curriculum. That if I become an engineer from your university, I'm now a graduate, I should be able to work very
Anywhere.
well as an engineer. And I should be able to do my job effectively. Not that I become a coffee and tea or bread and tea sugar engineer.
Or just engineer by paper.
Engineer by paper. Engineer without practical. So the ASU people, what they are talking about, they have to go back again and go back to their drawing board, readdress the curriculum. That if somebody is coming out in Nigerian University as a BSc holder or as a BTech holder or as a BSc holder or a BTech holder, he should be able to perform very well. That, oh, this guy is a very good ambassador of this university. Every day they talk about money. They go on strike.
Be a good life between daughter-in-laws and mother-in-laws. We are going to give background information, background tips on what relationship entails. Better and godly relationship between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws.
When we are continuing in the world, the Bible says we should multiply. That is Genesis.
Of the daughter-in-law too, she too have roles to play.
Yeah. Yes.
She too have roles to play.
Yeah.
The roles of a daughter coming from another home to another home.
By God's ordinance, we will know that, as Jesus said in the Bible, that if the first law does not have a weakness,
like mommy too, when we discuss, she tells me that our own homes to be a role model.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's still your newspaper review, your midday newspaper review with your very own person on Cactv. So thank you for staying tuned. So we still have one last story to take from the welcome back. Sorry for the break in transmission. So quickly, I'll take the last story that we have for the Punch newspaper. And this says, Lagos slashes fare by 50%. See me reading it with a lot of smile on my face. And in a bid to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal, the Lagos state government has slashed the cost of transportation of all state-owned transportation system by 50%. The government also pledged to distribute foodstuffs to the vulnerable in the state. And this was a story that was, said by the Lagos state as at yesterday. So what do you have to say? Let me start with you, Oladapo. Are you excited about this first?
Mixed feeling though.
Okay.
Because the Fed does not have to do with people who are private owners who don't use public transportation. What provision are we making for them? Are we going to tell the fuel station to reduce theirs? Because not everybody.
Of course, the elites are doing well.
No. Don't. Let's not look at it from that. And I will be, I don't drive every day, but if I will be driving on Saturday and on Sunday, how does the package, the arrangement, the palette, how does that affect me? So kudos to the governor for the 50% slash, and I think that's for government-owned buses, the BRT,
yes,
in particular. And I think they are in talk with the public transport to maybe
also see how that can work
25% or so. Well, it's a good one, but we should look beyond. If you are boarding a bus from Lagos to Akure now, it will not go with the same.
That's true.
So this is just for you going
within Lagos,
within
the state,
and it's a good one anyway. But the governor will look up to more. We just want more.
It's a welcomed idea. So, Engineer Ola.
Well, it's a very good idea, but the government has to do more. Like I've said before, and I'm still saying it, transportation is one of the mainstay of the economy. If you cannot control transportation system, you can't control the market price, you can't control the economy in your state. Now, the government has done very well by saying, okay, we want to drive down the price of our transportation system in Lagos, that is the BRT buses, by 50%. And at the same time, again, the government should now look inward how to quicken the project of railway system in Lagos State, the blue line, the red line, the yellow line, and the green line, so that I can be able to convey people to their various working places. This thing has happened before in some Asian countries. Let me give an example in India, where we have buses in the morning, convey students to school. We call them student buses. We have buses in the morning that convey women, that is lesser being who cannot struggle like men, women buses, and also we have workers buses, and the price are subsidized greatly so that people can go to their work without being affected with the present situation of the economy now in the country. And also the same thing, the ferry system. Government has to look into that okay, those who go by sea to their various working places or to the market, not only the workers this time around should also should also be extended to the market women. That is, our market women, when they go to their market, they can also go by ferry. And if you can slash down the price of ferry also in Lagos State, it will do a very good job to help the inhabitants of Lagos State. And also we are looking at this particular area that it is now high time for the government to now consider transport administration as a sandwich course. Not for students who are in the universities. If you are not in the university, you can also learn about transportation business, like about 3 months or 6 months course, the crash program for most of these transporters. So this will be able to assist the government in a very good way and to also help the economy of this country.
All right, thank you. So quickly, let's take a look at the story that we have making Vanguard newspaper. And what we have here says, Niger, trouble in the neighborhood by Dankuku, Peterside. Now, this is a story, the first story that we have on Vanguard newspaper. And the story says, Niger Republic is Nigeria's next neighbor. She is not the best neighbor Nigeria would deserve, but as a sovereign nation, we have control over her. Okay, we have no control over her. Our economy, statistics, population, demographic, poverty, and security threatens terrorism. Now, this is an insurgency and intercommunicational conflict are too much baggage for a neighbor any nation would want to have. And he further says that, however, like all responsible neighbors, a threat to a neighbor is a threat to you. So let me start with you, Engineer Ola.
You see, there's a saying that a beggar cannot give a beggar. Nigeria is a country where we are always begging for loans from abroad to sustain the economy. So we don't have to give to our neighbor, who's also a beggar like us. That is one. You see, in Niger, there is a very fantastic and let me say important mineral, that uranium. And this uranium is, is what everybody in the world wants to have access to. So that means many Westerners from Asia, from Europe, from America would like
to
invest or to become friendly with Niger. And there are lots of problems in Niger that Nigerian cannot add Niger to our own problem. Like the West African this ECOWAS group is saying that, we have to make sure that we return back Niger to democracy. It is very, very volatile. We have to be very, very careful and extraordinarily careful. Niger is a keg of bomb that can explode anytime. We have so many gangs, so many groups in Niger. So what I have to say is that Nigeria have to be very, very careful, know how to meddle in the affairs of Niger. Like now, Burkina Faso is saying it's another country, rugged country, Burkina Faso, with the Mosi people. Gone are the days when we used to take market to Ouagadougou. These people, I don't want to say anything bad about the country on air. Nigeria should be very, very careful about the Mosi people. When we are talking about this, our African neighbors, we have to be extraordinarily careful. Because the saga of Boko Haram is still there. Don't forget about that. And this Boko Haram, they have their extension in Niger also. So you have to be very, very careful. I will only advise our president, Baba
to
Tinubu,
tread carefully.
Tread carefully. The Bible will say, he has to be very, very careful about how he entertained the affairs of Niger. Niger people are jubilating. And they are happy that, the military has taken over the government. Why are they jubilating? They understand the country better than an outsider. So we have to be very, very careful on that particular matter.
All right, Dapo, what's your take? Thank you so much. What's your take?
I think I will continue from where he stopped. He said the citizens of Niger were celebrating after the military took over power. That is to tell you that the citizens sees it as power returning to them. In the ECOWAS, they are seeing it as democracy had to stay. How can they over, unseat a sitting president, blah blah blah, democratic president and all. Well, ours is Nigeria. We already have enough on our hands. In fact, nobody has taken government here. We are like, hey, where are we? So let's not just even go there. Let Niger face their home issue and let's all face our own house. We have enough to fix here than to now add Niger to our problem. Niger are, they are a nation on their own. They should, face the issue of the military, and whoever has opinion of going there to settle anything should go independently, not in the name of Nigeria. We should not interfere at all, as far as I'm concerned. President Tinubu, please, so we have seen enough chaos. Boko Haram is there. All the militants, they are there. All the kidnappers by the side.
The insecurity.
We have issues outside the. So Niger, for me, they know what is best for them. If the citizen says they are happy with military, who are we to say no? It is their president that had to be returned. Please, President Tinubu, let them be. Let us face our home. I don't have anything to hide.
All right. Thank you so much. So still on the midday newspaper review, we'll take a look at what the Sun newspaper has to say before we go on the topic of the day. So the Sun says, bad governance spreading poverty, insecurity in Nigeria. Ambassador Okafor stated this. The managing director of Chaborn International Company, Nigerian Limited, Ambassador Charles Chukwemeka Okafor, is a chairman of the Labour Party, that's the LP. So he stated this as at yesterday, saying that bad governance spreading poverty and insecurity in Nigeria. So
you see, we have a very big problem in this country, and that problem, is that everybody in Nigeria is a judge, and most of us are fake judge. If you look at a subject from a different perspective, from my own perspective, you will see it differently. Let's go back to history. When Gowon was the head of state of this country, practically Nigeria will import everything to this country, even including Biro we import to this country. When Obasanjo became Nigerian president, the second time, not the first time, Obasanjo said we should stop importation of drinking water to this country. Most of the embassies in Nigeria are importing water from their own country. So Nigeria is not spoiled today. Nigeria has been spoiled many years back. And we are all here in Nigeria. We have witnessed different governments with different policies and damaging the economy of this nation. So now, if you have to go back again and start judging Nigeria, Nigerian economy is bad leaders, is bad management, is this, let us stop talking about that. Let us provide solution to our problem. Let us advise the government. This economy is bad. This is how to revamp back the economy. Our educational system is wrong. This is what we have to do. We should stop condemning and saying Nigeria is bad because of corrupt leaders, Nigeria is this. What is the solution ahead? We have to look for the solution, practicalize it, execute it. Nigeria will change. If you want to live if you have an apartment where you are living and it's dirty, and you don't repair the apartment, you are saying, oh, my landlord is stupid and rubbish. Look at the house is dirty, you are supposed to paint the house. What about you who's living in the house? If you don't tidy your room, you can't tidy your house. If your room is untidy, your house will fill with dirt. So they say charity begins at home, does not end at home. What are we going to do now, Nigerians, to assist Nigeria to change the destiny of Nigeria, or to take Nigeria to the destiny that Nigeria desired? So right time we stop saying Nigeria is bad,
pointing
fingers. We are all judges, and we don't judge. Let us judge ourselves. Are we good to our home? Are we good to ourselves before we judge Nigeria as a country?
All right, quickly we'll go for a quick short commercial and we'll be right back after this. for staying tuned. Thank you so much for staying tuned, our wonderful viewers. So, Dapo, you have something to say. You were so much saying a lot behind the scenes. So what's that? Unleash it.
Actually, I don't have much to say. The man that spoke on Ambassador or CAFO,
yes,
actually stated the obvious. But the issue I have is I think it's too early to condemn the present administration. They are newly appointed. In fact, it's yet to be, the executive is yet to kickstart duty. So we cannot say they are the reason for the poverty we have now. Poverty has always been in place, but the president came out just yesterday to say he will phase out all the challenges.
Yes, and he has given us a lot of hope.
On that ground, I think we should have hope. But like he has pointed out, we still need people like Ambassador Okafo to be coming out to say things are bad, things are not well. That way, the president will sit up and know that people
we can't keep praising
actually
and praising.
waiting for so much, and that way we'll have a good country. Kudos to as many people who are speaking out, who still registering their opinion about the state of the nation. It's not easy to really come out and say this is my opinion.
Exactly.
That has not been happening. What we have had so far, particularly during the election period, was be your brother's keeper. Yoruba Runu, at Runu. Thank God that we have the president is Obama. But beyond that, I'm a Nigerian citizen. You get. A Nigerian citizen is not what you will use to enter bus. You will not go to Bodilo and claim your brother is Tinubu. They will beat you like nonsense. And say the president is Yoruba man. And say because you're Yoruba, you want to go and spend the night there. Who is your father? Who bore you? So why generalizing? So we should not be sentimental because he's Labour Party. He's saying the obvious, which the president should look into those matters and drive the country forward. God bless Nigeria.
So much. Thank you so much for that contribution. So your last word for our viewers out there.
My last opinion will be responsible. Just the way the president has promised to be a better citizen too. Let's say good words. I kept saying God bless Nigeria at the end of my words because that is my expectation. That this country will be blessed again. The Jackpot syndrome will not go long, will not go far. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Engineer Ola. So, what's your last word?
What I have to say to Nigerians is patronize what we have. Be Nigeria.
By Nigeria. Yes, always be Nigeria, by Nigeria. But most of all, be responsible. Take action, do what you have to do, and make sure that you look out for one another because it is very important that we look out for ourselves. So thank you so much for staying tuned on your favorite TV station, Cactv, and this is where we call it a wrap for today's midday newspaper. So till we'll come your way, same time, same station. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye. Even national security, instead, it was being funneled into the deep pocket and lavish bank account of a selected group of individuals. This group had amassed so much wealth and power that they became a serious threat to the fairness of our economy and the integrity of our democratic governance. To be blunt, Nigeria could never become the society it was intended to be as long as such small, powerful, yet unelected groups hold enormous influence over our political economy and the institutions that govern it. The whims of the few should never hold dominant sway over the hopes and aspirations of the many. If we are to be a democracy, the people and not the power of money must be sovereign. The preceding administration saw this looming danger as well. Indeed, it made no provision in the 2023 appropriation for subsidy after June this year. Removal of this once helpful device that had transformed into a millstone around the country's neck had become inevitable. Also, the multiple exchange rate The system that had been established became nothing but a highway of currency speculation. It diverted money that should have been used to create jobs, build factories, and businesses for millions of people. Our national wealth was doled out on favorable terms to a handful of people who had been made filthy rich simply by moving money from one hand to another. This too was extremely unfair and is not acceptable. It also compounded the threat that the illicit and mass accumulation of money posed to the future of our democratic system and its economy. I had promised to reform the economy for the long-term good by fighting major imbalances that has plagued our economy, ending the subsidy and the preferential exchange rate system were key to this fight. This fight is to the